The rain fell sideways as thunder cracked across the sky. In the middle of that storm, a 6-year-old girl stood frozen at the window of her forest cabin. "Mom, there's something out there," she whispered. Her father opened the door, expecting a fallen branch, maybe a raccoon. But lying there, soaked, bleeding, and barely breathing, was a wild bobcat. Not growling. Not attacking. Just staring at the little girl. And when she knelt beside him and whispered, "You're safe now," he closed his eyes, and stayed. What happened next, how this wild predator became her protector, would uncover secrets, stop a criminal, and change their family forever. The wind screamed through Cedar Hollow like a warning no one understood. Trees bent and swayed, their limbs creaking like old bones. Rain tapped angrily at the windows of the small cabin that stood quietly at the edge of the forest, as if begging to be let inside. Inside that cabin, warmth glowed from the kitchen where Mira stirred a pot of soup. The smell of herbs filled the air. Her husband, Joel, moved beside her, slicing fresh bread with slow, steady hands. It was a night for staying in, for hiding from the storm outside. But in the living room, something much quieter was happening. 6-year-old Sasha sat cross-legged on the rug with a coloring book open in front of her. She was drawing a forest, her forest, the one just beyond their backyard. Her tiny fingers moved with focus as she colored in the trees, the sky, the little animals she always imagined lived just out of sight. Lightning flashed. The lights flickered. Sasha didn't blink. Then she stopped. She tilted her head, eyes locked on the front window. Her crayon dropped from her hand. Mira looked up from the pot. "What is it, sweetheart?" Sasha didn't speak. She got up slowly and walked toward the window. Her small hand pressed against the cold glass. "Mom," she said quietly. "There's something out there." Joel dried his hands on a towel and stepped beside her. Rain made it hard to see anything. But then a flash of lightning lit up the porch. Something was there. Slumped. Still. Joel's heart skipped. He grabbed the flashlight and carefully opened the front door. The wind pushed hard against him, and water blew in. But none of that mattered once he saw what lay at their feet. A bobcat. A real one. Big. Soaked. Its thick fur was plastered to its body, its sides rising and falling with effort. Blood mixed with mud along its ribs. A long wound, red and deep, cut across its side. Its golden eyes looked up, but there was no fight in them. Only pain. And something more. Sasha stepped forward. "He's hurt," she whispered. "Please, can we help him?" Joel reached his arm out to block her. "It's wild, Sasha. You don't go near wild animals." But she didn't listen. She moved past him, quiet as a whisper, and knelt beside the bobcat. He didn't growl. Didn't move. He just breathed and watched her. "He's scared," she said, brushing wet leaves from the animal's shoulder. Mira hurried to the door, heart pounding. "Sasha. Come away from him now." But Joel saw something different. This was no ordinary encounter. The bobcat wasn't attacking. He wasn't even trying to get up. There was something broken in him. Not just his body, but something deeper. Joel took a breath. "Mira. I think, we can't leave him out here. Myra's mouth opened in protest, but when she saw the way the animal leaned toward Sasha's touch, her voice failed. They carried him inside. Joel laid the bobcat gently onto a folded blanket in front of the fireplace. Sasha fetched another to cover him. Mira brought warm water and a bowl. The house was silent, except for the ticking clock and the soft whimper the bobcat made as he shifted. Sasha sat beside him and laid her hand on his paw. He has a name, she said suddenly. His name is Cairo. Joel looked up. Sasha, how could you know that? He told me. Joel glanced at Mira. She was watching Sasha with a strange expression. Maybe it's just something she imagined, she said softly. But Joel wasn't so sure. The rest of the night passed in nervous stillness. Cairo didn't move much. He breathed slowly, his ears twitching now and then, but never once growled or snapped. Even Mira, cautious as she was, couldn't deny he seemed different. Sasha stayed beside him the whole time. She whispered to him. Drew pictures. Even sang the lullaby Mira used to hum when she was scared of thunder. The next morning, the storm had passed. Sunlight peeked through gray clouds, lighting up the cabin in soft gold. Sasha was curled beside the bobcat, asleep. One hand rested on Cairo's head. Joel called the local wildlife vet, Dr. Felton, who agreed to come quickly. When Dr. Felton arrived, she took one look at Cairo and frowned. He's not acting like any bobcat I've ever seen, she said as she knelt down. Most would claw your face off before you got this close. He didn't try to hurt anyone, Joel said. Not once. Dr. Felton cleaned the wound and gave him medicine for infection. Looks like a blade, she said. A clean cut. This wasn't from another animal. Probably a trap, or worse. Sasha stroked his fur gently. He's been running from something, she whispered. Dr. Felton raised her eyebrows. Smart girl. That might be true. Joel offered to keep Cairo just until he healed. We'll keep him in the living room. No cages. Sasha, she won't let him go anyway. Mira hesitated but nodded. He came to us for a reason. That night, Cairo lifted his head for the first time. His golden eyes searched the room until they found Sasha. She was sitting near the fire, coloring a new picture, a bobcat in a forest, eyes glowing like stars. When she looked up and saw him watching, she smiled. You're safe now, she said softly. Cairo's tail thumped once on the floor. Just once. But it was enough. Over the next few days, Cairo began to heal. His breathing grew stronger. His eyes stayed open longer. He no longer whimpered when he shifted on the blanket. Dr. Felton came every afternoon to check on him, and each time, she seemed more amazed by what she saw. I've worked with injured bobcats before, she told Joel and Mira, but I've never seen one stay this calm inside a home, especially with a child so close. They all glanced toward Sasha. She was lying beside Cairo, gently brushing his fur with a soft toothbrush Mira had given her. The bobcat didn't flinch. He purred, not loudly, but just enough to be heard. He likes when I talk to him, Sasha said. He gets lonely when I'm at school. Mira exchanged a look with Joel. She's never been this open before. You know how shy she's always been. Joel nodded. She's changing. For the better. Later that evening, after dinner, the family settled in for a quiet night. Sasha sat on the floor, drawing another picture. This time it was their cabin, with Cairo curled beside it. Lightning crackled in the distance again, but no one flinched. The storm wasn't the same anymore. It had brought something unexpected. A friend. But just as Mira reached to turn off the porch light, Sasha looked up suddenly. "Someone's out there," she said quietly. Joel froze. "What?" She walked to the window and peered through the curtain. The yard looked empty. Still. But Cairo's ears twitched, and then he stood. Fully stood. He moved to the front door, his steps light, cautious. His golden eyes stared through the wood like he could see something beyond it. A deep, low growl rumbled from his chest. Joel grabbed a flashlight. "Stay back," he told Mira and Sasha. He opened the front door slowly. Nothing. Just the whisper of the wind, the trees dancing under a clouded moon. But something felt off. Cold air touched Joel's neck, though the night wasn't freezing. His eyes scanned the yard, then the edge of the woods. A flash. Movement. Something ducked out of sight behind the fence. Cairo saw it too, Sasha whispered, standing just inside the doorway. Joel shut the door and locked it. "Could have been a deer," he said. But he didn't believe it. Neither did Cairo. He stood by the window for hours, watching. Unmoving. Guarding. The next morning, as Sasha packed her bag for school, she whispered to Cairo, "Did you see him too? The bad man?" Mira overheard and frowned. "Sweetheart, who's the bad man?" Sasha hesitated. Then said, "He hurt Cairo. That's why he ran here." Mira knelt down. "Honey, did you dream that?" "No," Sasha said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "Cairo told me." Joel and Mira exchanged worried glances, but didn't say anything more. That day, while Sasha was at school, Joel got a visit from their neighbor, Mr. Dalton. "Just came to check in," he said. "Heard some movement last night by the fence. You folks all right?" Joel nodded. "We had a strange visitor. Maybe a poacher. Not sure." Dalton raised an eyebrow. "That Bobcat still around?" "Inside the house," Joel said. "He's recovering." "You folks are braver than me," Dalton muttered. "You know there've been reports lately. People seeing traps in the woods. Illegal ones." Joel's chest tightened. "What kind of traps?" "The kind that don't just catch animals," Dalton said. "The kind that send a message." That night, Mira couldn't sleep. She sat by the window, watching the trees sway. Sasha was in bed. Joel was reading. Cairo lay beside Sasha's door, his ears perked. Mira thought she saw something again. A flicker of movement. She almost called Joel, but then Sasha's door creaked open. Mira stood quickly and rushed over, but froze at what she saw. Cairo was standing in the hallway, his body blocking Sasha's room. He wasn't growling, but his fur was raised, and his eyes were fixed on the window. "What is it?" Mira whispered. Sasha appeared behind him, rubbing her eyes. "He's coming back," she said. Joel appeared from the other room. Who's coming? The bad man, Sasha said. He was at Cairo's old home. That's where Cairo got hurt. Joel knelt in front of her. How do you know that? Sasha touched her heart. Because Cairo remembers. And I feel it. Joel didn't understand, but Mira did. She didn't know how, but she believed it. There was something in Sasha's voice, some calm wisdom that didn't belong to a 6-year-old. Something passed between her and the Bobcat that defied words. I think we need to go there, Sasha said. To Cairo's home. The next morning was colder than usual. Mist hung low across Cedar Hollow, and even the trees looked quiet, like they were holding their breath. Joel stood on the porch, staring into the woods beyond the fence. He didn't say a word. He didn't have to. Mira already knew what he was thinking. We're really going to take him back there, she asked gently. Joel nodded. He keeps looking toward the forest. Like something's unfinished. Mira looked down at Cairo, who sat beside Sasha's feet, his golden eyes calm but alert. Sasha, already dressed and holding a small flashlight in one hand and a folded drawing in the other, was ready. I know where the house is, she said. Cairo showed me in my dream. Mira hesitated. You've never been there before, Sasha. Sasha didn't flinch. I just know. It's behind the ridge. The one with the big rocks shaped like teeth. Joel exhaled slowly. That's real. There's an old hunting cabin back there. Been abandoned for years. Mira still had 100 reasons to say no. But none of them mattered more than what they all felt, something about this Bobcat, this child, and that place was connected in a way they couldn't explain. They packed quickly, first aid supplies, a map, extra water. Joel brought a hiking stick. Mira grabbed a flare gun. Cairo walked ahead, as if leading them. The trail was quiet. Birds didn't sing. The only sound was the crunch of leaves beneath their boots and the steady rhythm of Sasha's breathing as she held Cairo's tail gently between her fingers. After nearly an hour of walking, they crested the ridge. There, Sasha said, pointing. Through the mist, an old wooden cabin emerged from the trees. It was small, with broken shutters and ivy creeping up its sides. The porch sagged inward, and the roof leaned slightly to one side. Cairo stopped. His body stiffened. Then, slowly, he walked to the front steps. Sasha followed. Cairo used to live here, she said. With someone kind. A man. But then, the bad man came. Joel looked around. Place looks abandoned now. But Cairo walked straight to the front door, sniffed once, then began to paw at the floor beside it. What is it, boy? Joel asked, crouching beside him. Then they heard it, faint at first. The snap of a twig. A shadow moved near the trees behind the cabin. Mira grabbed Sasha's hand. Back up. Now. Cairo growled. Out of the woods stepped a tall man in a heavy coat, eyes sharp, steps slow and measured. Well, he said coldly. Didn't expect company out here. Joel moved in front of his family. Who are you? The man smirked. No one you need to know. But Cairo stepped forward, hackles raised. I know him, Sasha whispered. That's the one who hurt Cairo. The bad man. The man took a step closer, and Cairo launched. He moved fast, almost too fast to see. His body collided with the man's legs, knocking him sideways. The stranger stumbled, crashing against the porch rail. Joel raised the hiking stick. But the man didn't fight back. He scrambled up and fled, vanishing into the forest as fast as he had come. Cairo stood at the porch's edge, staring after him. Not chasing. Just watching. His tail twitched once. Then he turned. And walked to the side of the house. He began digging. Joel followed, then Mira and Sasha. Beneath the soft dirt, Joel found a small wooden box. He pulled it free and opened the lid. Inside, wrapped in cloth, were several photographs, old documents, and a notebook. Pages filled with careful writing. Field notes. Dates. Names. What is this? Mira asked. Joel scanned a page. It looks like a journal. From someone who lived here. Maybe a wildlife researcher. Or, maybe Cairo's former owner. At the back of the journal, a single line stood out in neat handwriting. If I don't make it back, let Cairo find the right people. He'll know who. Myra's voice caught. He was trained. This whole time. Joel nodded slowly. He was guarding this. They brought the journal and the box back to town and handed them over to the ranger station. The man who attacked them, an illegal poacher known to the authorities, was arrested 2 days later. But the bond between Sasha and Cairo remained the heart of the story. No one tried to return Cairo to the wild. Because he had chosen his home. He had chosen Sasha. Weeks passed. The air turned colder, and snow touched the tops of the trees. But inside the Turner cabin, warmth never left. Sasha grew braver, louder, more confident than ever. She made new friends at school. She told stories that made other kids lean in with wide eyes, about glowing eyes in the forest and brave bobcats with gentle hearts. Cairo stayed close. Always watching. Always near. Every night, he curled beside her bed. Every morning, he walked her to the bus stop. And sometimes, when the wind howled, Mira would see him sit at the window, his ears twitching, his eyes on the trees. Protecting. Waiting. And remembering the man who once trusted him to find the right people. He had found them.